Joining me right now is Dai Davies. He's a former head of Royal Protection at the time when, well, some of the first allegations were made against Mohamed Al Fayed. He was always in the news, not long before, indeed, his relationship between his son, Dodi Fayed, and Diana, Princess of Wales, of course, which ended in them both dying in a tunnel in France after that horrific car crash. But Mohamed Al Fayed was always in the news, and what was extraordinary is even back into the mid-1990s, he was also known by many people who followed what he was up to be someone who was regarded as something of a sexual predator. So why was he never brought to justice? Dai Davies, why do you think he wasn't, given that I remember being on the Evening Standard back in the mid-1990s as a news reporter, and it was sort of common knowledge then. Some articles had been written, Vanity Fair and others. Very litigious man, certainly, Mohamed Al Fayed. But a lot of this stuff that we're seeing in this BBC documentary and it's coming out now, these women coming forward about rape and sexual abuse, I mean, this was common knowledge in pretty much everywhere in sort of London media. So why did he not ever face justice?
Well, it's a very good question, and of course everybody's asking the same question now. I got involved in my role as the operational commander in charge of royalty protection because I was aware there were serious allegations against him for the Tiny Rowlands affair. And if you recall, that was when a secure box in the Harrods store was actually broken into, not allegedly, by the orders of Mohamed Fayed and his security team. They did it not once, but twice. And this was a man who would make spurious allegations. He made it against the then Trade Secretary, Lord Howard, as he is now, who was totally exonerated. But this was a serial. He accused everybody else of all manner of things. And again, that was being investigated by the serious and organised crime. They subsequently went on to arrest him and the whole of his security team. And that's what I was concerned about, as well as the knowledge, as you say, that it was common knowledge that this was a serial predator. I don't know why any of these women didn't then come forward, or perhaps they did, but nobody believed them.
Well,
so
that's
there are serious questions to be asked, aren't
it was a different time. I mean, yeah, he was regarded generally as a wrong, and there were lots of concerns when Diana became involved with him and his family. But again, he was that classic example of, of bonhomie, always in the news, always with celebrities, paid lots of people to be around him, gave a lot of money to charity, so you get all the good publicity from that, and very flamboyant and constantly in the news. But this is a lot of these women, we understand, and this has happened again and again, whether it's Harvey Weinstein or other cases to come to court eventually, the women do come forward, they do speak up, and then they are basically threatened and bought off. And you sort of think, well, why would women accept payment instead of going to court? Because they figure, well, I haven't got any evidence. This person, we're told again and again, these women were threatened, by security details, by Mohammed himself, that basically your life's going to be over, you'll never work again, or shut up, take the payoff, we'll get you another job somewhere else, and these women can move on for their lives. So in a way, you can understand why this keeps happening, but it was happening on such a grand scale. So many women were involved, and cases did go to the police, and the police did send them on 2 or 3 occasions to the Crown Prosecution Service, interestingly, when Keir Starmer was Director of Public Prosecutions, of course, and yet no further action was taken. And the concern here is that actually, it was because he was a rich man, he was a powerful man, he was well connected, that he was somehow able to get away with what he did because of that. Do you think that's the case?
Yes, I do. But I'd also like to ask the questions of the CPS. What questions did they ask of the police? What did the police actually investigate? How far did that investigation go? Because there's a pattern of behaviour, frankly, which causes me concern. And there are questions to be asked. If you don't investigate properly, you won't find the evidence. If you don't then have the evidence, the CPS can only advise on the evidence. What is interesting, he sued the Metropolitan Police for arresting him. And again, nothing happened because of the criminality, I would allege, of his actions and his team. So the question has to be asked about those who surrounded him, both at that time and up to and including when the last allegation of rape and sexual conduct. There are a lot of people, I think, with answers, particularly on the security side, who knew everything that was going on. That's my opinion. And I really do think those ex-BBC people and all the rest of them, where are they now? Why are they not being questioned? And there ought to be, I think, because of the nature of this allegation. It's so serious that I think we need a public inquiry. Then the truth can be forced out of some of these people, and they should be held to account for aiding and abetting. Because that's what I think some of them, obviously I don't know, I wasn't there, but there needs to be serious questions. I'm not sure anybody's asking them apart from the BBC.
No, I think we're in Jimmy Savile territory in that sense, aren't we? Dai Davies, former head of Royal Protection. I wish we had longer. I'm sure we'll talk to you about this again. Thank you so much for joining us. Very quick reaction from Theo.
Of course, the one person who would face questions is Keir Starmer. What did he know? Number 10 said it never crossed his desk back in 2009, but was he ever advised at all?
But so many people who worked and doing the publicity for Mohamed Al Fayed over the years